Rob F. Martinez with Cage 360 Magazine. I'm coming to you live from the grand opening of BAS Rutten's Elite MMA Gym. BAS working over the dummy over here. Yeah. BAS, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. A lot of power in my left, but I lost my power in my right. So it's going to be a little disturbing with the shows, with the demonstrations. See, left works really good. That's about what I got in right. Not so good.
BAS, one of the things I noticed about your gym, first of all, we'll talk about the gym here, is that I see a lot of families are coming out, a lot of children coming out. Is that a sign of the times, or is that something that your team here at the gym has been doing? Are they marketing are they reaching out to families?
Yes, we do, of course. You know, as you see the space over there, it's an after-school program. We got a teacher there from 4 till 5, or 4 till like 5:30. Kids come in here, do their classes, and then they start training. So we really, try to pull kids in because, let's face it, it's a great workout. On top of that, it's always good, to make kids confident. Kids that got bullied, make them confident so they don't need to fight because they realize, you know what, okay, if you really want to fight with me, bully, why don't you come to my gym? We put on some gloves, do it the right way. Don't try to do it on the street.
I saw the Krav Maga demonstration, which was fantastic. Are you going to be teaching any courses here as well?
Yeah, I'm going to be teaching also something. I'm mostly going to talk. Like I said, I lost the power of my right arm, and they're still trying to figure out what it is. Some nerve that's blocked somewhere, but it's like it doesn't fire any signal, so I don't have zero power. And but I'm going to talk to the people. I'm talking about my stance. What's so different about my system than other people? And once you hear it and I show you, then people are going to go like, the guy's right. I mean, there's no. Until now, if you do put everything together, it's just physics, I always say, And if you put it together and you see it, nobody can say that it is not good. It's the right way. It's the right way to do it. A lot of people always, they just follow other people. Like for punches, for instance, you have to twist your hand. Why? Why say, I put a snap on it? I say, well, boom, I can put the same snap on it without twisting. But because somebody a long time ago said it, I believe it was Muhammad Ali, then everybody just repeats what the guy does. Nobody really looks into it, is he right? No, they just assume that he's right. And I didn't do that. I never had a teacher. I taught everything myself, but I broke everything down. My wife got crazy of me. I got the whole house full of little Post-its. I would wake up my wife in the middle of the night, and I would put her in a submission hold that I just dreamt about. And then I say, man, this hurts your shoulder, right? Yeah, what are you doing? I would write it down, and the next day I would start working it in the gym and then make it better and, explore. It's never, you never stop learning.
I've seen your name on a bunch of gyms now. How many gyms does this make?
Ooh, this is my own gym. This is the gym where I have my office and where I will be the most. I'm going to teach 5 times a week, probably more, but on paper 5 times a week. And the rest I'm going to jump in with people. I'm going to spend a lot of time here. I want now, my daughter is a freshman, and I realize, in 4 years I'm going to lose my baby. She's going to go college, and that's going to be bad for me. So I figured I'm going to do that, get some stability. Then when I come home, I can leave the work here, and then I'm home for the kids, and because normally I work so hard that I constantly on the computer, constantly be pulled back in the office, and I want to stop doing that, focus more on the people, start teaching again.
I want to ask you about some of your Twitter comments. You recently made headlines. First of all, you made a Twitter post about loyalty to a certain team, and I wanted to ask you if you can elaborate on that and how you feel loyalty is important in MMA.
To what team was that?
I think your Twitter post said something about certain fighters have lost because they stray from their camp, they leave their camp, and they move around.
Yes, I did, and you see this a lot, and I don't need to mention names with that because if you simply look at it, you'll see what happens. Like one guy, they forget about the person who brought them at that spot. They think at the moment they're fighting, for instance, in the UFC, oh, now we're here with the big dog. Now I don't need my coach anymore. It saves me the 10 or 15%. I don't need to pay him anymore because I know it already. And most of the time, then you see guy gets suddenly, tears a muscle, blows a knee out. Another guy blew his back out. All these things that I now mentioned happened with fighters. You go and look with fighter what happened, and then you're going to see, wait a minute, they forgot about their teacher that was training them since they were 6 years old, and then finally it's to the big time. He never asked a cent, never nothing, and then they're too cheap to give 10% away. I think that is something really bad, sends a bad signal out. You always got to keep your people close to you who made you. That's just, maybe it's because I'm Dutch, but it sounds to me this is everybody should do this, right? I mean, there's nothing special about it. The school is not good. and that person didn't bring you to where you were, of course, you have choices. If the teacher's not good, I say, by God, leave. Because you cannot stay with somebody who's teaching the wrong way, because that's not going to help your career. But if this is the person responsible for your success, you can never leave the guy. I think you should stay with him. And otherwise, karma will hit. And that's why I said, those guys get injured and suddenly people don't like him anymore. The fans, they always tell me, oh, you're so nice to the fans. I said, I'm just normal. I'm just myself. I don't like to change myself. Plus, being me, that made me be good with the fans. Why would I never, every fan that I shake a hand, I will give him the eye contact. If you ever have a person who gives me a hand and he doesn't look at me, I keep holding his hand. Always. And it doesn't matter. It can be President Obama, I don't care. If he grabs my hand and he shakes my hand and he looks away, I hold him. I say, look at me when I shake your hand. I think that's something very disrespectful. And a lot of people are like that. So I'm not going to say Obama is. I'm just making an example that even if he would do it, I would do it. I don't care who the person. I don't discriminate about age, no nothing. I'm a very weird person. If I'm in line and somebody cuts in line, that could be a 70-year-old woman, I'll bring it to the back. It could be a bodybuilder this big, I'll bring him back. I don't, you make a mistake, well, you gotta pay the price, so to say.
Just to be clear, there's no discrimination on bodybuilders, old women, or Obama. We just want to get that clear.
I'm just using, because if you say bodybuilder, the people imagine the big bullies, right? Who think that because they're big, they might stand in front of you and they can crush you because nobody's going to say anything anyway. Guess what? If I'm in that line, you will be put back to the line. And that's with everybody. Like I said, if she's 70 years old also. Rules are rules. I live by the rules. I will never do something like that. And I expect people need to do the same thing.
Just a couple more questions here. The next question is in regards to your post regarding steroids. Yeah. Chael Sonnen's test has been making all the headlines, of course, and you recently posted a really lengthy response saying that you feel that there should be more done to prevent that, maybe even more in terms of punishment.
Yeah, you know what? First of all, people need to look into what it is. And I said, in the post, I said, if it is proven, this is very important. I'm not going to pinpoint. I'm not going to say, Chael, no, nothing has been proven. You know that how much things can happen. Certain supplements combined, they can raise your levels also. There are people with very low testosterone level who they actually give a little bit to just be in the same level as everybody else. I'm all okay with that. Somebody has a knee injury, needs to recoup faster, I'm okay with that. But just make sure that once you train out, that once you work out, that you don't use it, because if you're going to get caught with it, well, it's your mistake. And then, it draws attention to a sport that I love so much, and it draws a negative attention, and I just simply don't like that.
Boss, you yourself have over a decade in the sport. Is steroid use something that you have seen regularly in your own experience?
I'm sorry, with what?
With steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, is it something that you've seen over your years?
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of guys. I fought a lot of guys who I knew they were using, but I beat those guys, and that's what I'm saying. It's at the moment you grab towards steroids, you're already weaker in the mind, because you're not happy with yourself. You need to bump it up, because I feel insecure. And don't give me the BS reason, because they are doing it. I said, that's the worst one. I fought guys 265 pounds and never had a problem. Make up with stamina and make up with technique, but don't go to that stuff, because it sets a wrong example for the kids also, because everybody goes like right away, they get into they start training and right away say, oh, can I do roids, can I do this? I go, man, what do you think? What happened to just good food and water? And supplements I took a protein shake here and there and some vitamins, but that's the only thing I did. And it worked for me. I never ran out of gas. I never had anybody being stronger. Just train hard.
Switching gears back to the opening of your gym, there's a lot of stuff going on, demonstrations, looks like there's some food going out. What can you tell to all the people that are coming here and that are seeing this now that possibly want to come to your gym?
Well, this is going to be like one big family. This is going to be a place where you can come in and you don't need to be worried about going out with a shiner. If you want to spar hard, you're going to be in a special class with guys who all like to do that. This is not the beginner who comes in and is going to get beat up because he's a beginner. So it's just an easy target. There's no bullying here. I just recently did an anti-bullying campaign with Cartoon Network, which will come out. And, since I was bullied myself because of my horrible skin disease that I had when I was a kid, I'm very against that kind of stuff. So we try to keep everybody just what I just talked about. Treat people like you want to be treated. That's my golden rule. And a lot of people say that rule, but they don't do it. They don't live it up. I live up to it. I will treat everybody with respect, and if I don't, and if I find out I didn't, I'll be the first one to write an email or pick up the phone and say, listen, I'm sorry.